Thank you very much. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. The Honorable President of ICAP, Sister Hena Osmani, Chairperson for the Overseas Committee, Council members, respectable members of the overseas chapters, and all members. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. To be honest, it's a great opportunity for me to be here, and I'm so much thankful to the management of the overseas committees for allowing me to share some of the ideas on a very important subject that I believe is probably providing some of the possible solutions to the current situation. I believe I am allowed to share my screen. Yes, that is, I think, shared now. So what we need to talk about right now is more focusing on resilience for sustainability in this economic downturn situation, which is the global phenomena impacting Pakistan as one of the more affected areas or more affected countries out of that. So let me start with the root causes. Again, it is a long list. I have tried to summarize some of the most important ones that I believe have major impact, but I think I have a poll question on that as well. And once I'm done with this slide, I would request the hosting team to actually put that poll question on this as well. So from my perspective, the root causes include, as of the situation now, COVID-19 pandemic, we all agree, supply chain disruption and commodity prices cycle. The commodity price cycle, to some extent, is dependent, it has been created because of COVID-19 pandemic, but this is not the situation for everything. Actually, there are situations where you can see the commodity price cycle was even being impacted even without the COVID-19 pandemic, and things were actually on a higher side. And then obviously Russia-Ukraine war has significantly impacted it. The next thing that I'm going to touch upon is the capitalistic, unjust, imbalanced economic system. The problem is that maybe the resources are not that much scarce as the system that is distributing those resources between countries, between people, between societies is incapable of, or rather not meant to do that exercise in the right way. Derivatives market being bigger than the real commodities market. A lot of people don't actually try to understand the challenges that have been posed by the new financial systems. The derivatives market being multiple times of the real market means that actually the prices are not by the demand and supply situation, but rather these are more driven by the sentiments of the derivatives market. And the additional causes I would quickly like to touch upon, which are actually related to these. Interest rate hikes to curb inflation, causing inflation. That is a chicken and egg situation. All type of inflation can never be handled through only the interest rate hikes. And the interest rate hikes in the stronger currencies are making them even more stronger, which is completely disrupting the economics of certain countries. Energy prices were quite high. Now we are seeing a recession coming, so they are going down, but effectively they have already destroyed the economies of some of the countries. The derivatives market that I talked about and the holding methodology mindset, the capitalist mindset, actually it goes with more with sentiments and less with the real demand and supply situation. And the result, particularly in countries like Pakistan, you can see hoarding of sugar, hoarding of wheat. All these things are creating problems. Financial conditions have become tighter in most regions. Incomplete, inefficient energy infrastructures are there. Even the gas pipelines, transmission facilities, all these things are inefficient, incomplete, not providing you enough opportunities in countries like Pakistan in particular. And obviously credit bubbles are there. Considering the economic conditions, they are going to impact big time. I have put a poll question on that so that I think I will see the answers towards the end, but I will request the hosting team to put them time to time when we come on the relevant slides. Now, coming to the second part what are the biggest challenges right now? So first thing is there are so many natural disasters right now which are not so natural. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "Zahar al-fasadu fil barri wal bahri bima kasabat aydin nas," that things are destroyed in the system. The systems are being destroyed because of what people are doing by themselves, how the societies are dealing themselves. You can see the floods, Pakistan floods, now floods in Australia, some other Asian countries. USA and America, snowstorm, hurricane, and all these things. You can see these are not at the normal scale. These are impacting big time. The historic heat waves in Europe and the dry weather and water shortages are impacting big time. This is in addition to what is impacted by the COVID-19 and what is impacted in addition to because of the Ukraine-Russia war. Now, the challenges that we are having globally and which are going to impact Pakistan big time and actually are impacting include climate change, plastic pollution, air pollution, resource depletion. Food security is becoming a big issue, even for a country, agriculture country like Pakistan. Supply chain for commodities is becoming a big issue. The issue is not only commodity prices, but rather the bigger issue is the supply chain management for that. Fossil fuels are impacting, biodiversity loss is imminent. We can see how the impacts are coming to our country and globally. Deforestation has destroyed already Pakistan's green, oxygen and green situation. Poor environmental governance policies, obviously all over the world, but particularly we are talking about Pakistan. And in Pakistan, one more important thing is that rate of exploration in fossil fuels, particularly coal. The problem is now the situation in terms of environment has gone so bad that even if the countries like Pakistan have a very limited carbon footprint per capita as compared to other countries, and even that is even those countries are having that carbon footprint for maybe 150 years. But the problem is right now we are late in that and we cannot exploit those resources to that level. And this is actually impacting big time. Now, from World Economic Forum Global Risk Perception Survey, if you see the climate action failure, extreme weather, biodiversity loss, these are the biggest things that are actually impacting us. Now, coming to this sustainability part, how we can overcome the challenges. Sustainable development goals. Again, I would like to mention that I'm going to touch upon Maqasid Sharia as well, because there are at times when they come from the West, we adopt them like, like from our heart, but we forget some of the things that are coming in our own traditions. Anyway, sustainable development goals have to be there. Supply chain and food security focus has to be there. Commercialism and sustainability have to have a balance, even in the commercial entities. Early warning systems, long-term planning, government intervention in the right manner. These are globally needed, not only in Pakistan, but coming to Pakistan, particularly in this situation, austerity measures are needed. Better management of all resources is needed. Focus on sustainable development and investment in climate resilience is needed. This is very important that we curb our borrowings, because other than infrastructure, borrowing is actually impacting our overall sustainability in a very bad way. Reduction of interest rate and management of its volatility is important as of now. Control of inflation needs to be done through better supply chain management and other measures. Only interest rate hikes will not be helping you actually curbing the inflation. Developing national environment quality standards is very important, and take difficult long-term steps. For example, permanent increase in energy prices, prioritizing resources, etc. Here, I would like to touch upon, as I mentioned, with the Sustainable Development Goals, that what we get from our traditions, from the Maqasid Sharia, if you see the prioritization of things, the first thing is that all SDGs are actually aligned with the Maqasid Sharia that we have been learning from our traditions. And if you go for that, what we have here, there are 5 factors you need to protect. This is the protection and preservation of Deen, the life and health, intellect and education, progeny and family and society, and future of the society, wealth for the society and for individual. And this is to be done by prioritization of necessities over needs and needs over embellishments and complementary matters. This is something that we need to consider as a nation, that how this prioritization is going to help. I have poll question on this. It's some prioritization related points as well that I will request the hosting team to put now. Now, coming to how we can use Islamic finance and economics to achieve sustainability. Prioritize real economy, agriculture and industry over real sector and service sector. Austerity measures at all levels, individuals, institutions, country, government, country, all levels. Sukuk only to ensure only asset-backed and revenue-focused financing. This is very important that the borrowings, as you increase any single penny of borrowing, that impacts eventually the sustainability. And this is something where the economic downturn cannot be reversed unless you decide that borrowings have to be only for infrastructure. And Sukuk actually provide that solution that you can use the borrowings only for infrastructure and you don't go for consumption and operational borrowings. Entrepreneurship development, we talk about it a lot, but to be honest, this is the only way out if you want to go forward with that. Combining efforts of social finance and Islamic finance, I believe some of the speakers already touched upon some of the aspects of micro, SME, agri. Particularly, we need to focus this time significantly on agri and SME sector within agri to ensure food security and real economic growth. Collateral management, and one more thing that's important to understand, that increased commodity prices have ensured that agri sector has become more sustainable financially. This is something very important that our government needs to understand, that there were times that agri sector was not giving enough returns and people were moving towards urban areas. Now it is time that if you plan the things properly, you can actually invest in agri sector in a manner that your urban development is not disturbed in a big way, and rather your economic development is based on these agri factors. Collateral management is very important. It's a good initiative that has come from the government recently, and now we have first collateral management company. But having the collateral management and electronic warehousing to improve supply chain and to eliminate middleman and to make agri sector more and more profitable and increasing exports in the areas of agri, it is very important to focus significantly on this area. Prioritize society over individual interest, individuals and businesses not to be allowed waste and deplete resources, protect environment, growth. Now, just to touch upon, like, we belong to a religion where the teaching is that you have to grow trees even if the day of judgment is coming. You have to not to cut trees even at the time of war. This is something that we need to build in our DNA, that we need to work on these aspects of protecting environment. We are the ones who are asked not to even waste water when you are making ablution at the running river, and we are the ones who are wasting significant water every year. We need to convert those teachings into strategy and to use that strategy in our collective benefit. Preserve and efficiently use water. I talked about construct dams, improve the irrigation and water supply systems, preserve underground water levels, encourage fair trade and commerce, and curb unfair trade practices, particularly hoarding that has been significantly exploitative. Exploitative middlemen need to be eliminated if you want to actually get something out of the agri sector. So with that, I have put these poll questions and these have been presented. So let me see how the result is there. We can see that, and if there are any questions, we can take. My apologies for being very quick. I believe that the topic was quite long, and I tried to cover it within allocated time. So in the first question, I think we see that capitalistic, unjust, imbalanced economic system is the answer of the majority. Second answer is supply chain disruption and commodity prices. Coming to the second question about economic perspective, all of the above, I think people are majority, nearly 49% are in favor of that. Coming to the back on track thing, I think again, the majority, 57%, they say that we have to take all these measures which I've mentioned here. With that, I would like to thank you. And I don't know whether the time allows to take any questions or not, but I would love to if there is any time available. With that, I would like to thank you all and to the ICAP management for providing me this opportunity of being with you. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.